Well, good day. It's now the 25th of May, 2021. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It's supposed to get brighter in Virginia, a nicer day. Started off kind of cloudy, wet. Couple of things. Today I'm going to speak about what makes for a good deputy marshal. And tomorrow I'm going to do one on HRT. And again, I get a lot of email requests, and I know most of you guys are college age, even some high school age, or older, college students, people looking to transition into law enforcement. A little bit of preliminary advice before I get into the topic, okay? The first thing, and this is important because I see some other remarks saying these jobs are harder to get than winning the lottery or whatever. Okay. Perseverance, okay? I don't have to tell you how many times I've been turned down for things that I wanted or thought I wanted. The key is to keep trying. Now that sounds, there's two types of people in the world. People who look at, say, well, there's too much competition, I'm not even going to try. Or people are going to say, I'm going to try anyways, okay? Give you a couple of big disappointments in my life, okay? When I got out of the military, I was 22 years old, I took some police tests, several of them. The San Diego Sheriffs, the San Diego Police, the California Highway Patrol. Guess which ones hired me? None. Okay? I got to the last thing on the San Diego Police Department. This is in January of 1982. And I got to the captain's interview. That's the last friggin' thing you got to do. And he called me in and said, what I'd like to see from you is more maturity. I think you should go to school for a couple more years and come back and we'll hire you. Now that turned out to be very good advice. Now at the time I didn't think it was good advice at all. I wanted to go right on the police department, but it was good advice. Okay. Another job that I didn't get, the highway patrol. I thought I wanted that job. I still kind of have the idea that I would like to do that, but when you stop and think about it, driving up and down the interstate on a motorcycle, writing tickets, pulling people out of wrecks, would that have been something I wanted to do for my whole life? And the answer is no. Now, what did I get in return for that? Well, I had to go to college for a couple more years, and then I got on DEA. That turned out to be the perfect job for me. It was perfect. It was like God gave me a job that fits my personality. So being a DEA agent, but again, I had to apply and apply and apply. I turned down a job that I really wanted because I was in college. That was the Border Patrol. But again, perseverance. Don't quit at the first time somebody says no. Now today I'm going to speak about the Marshal service. I'm going to get to the topic, And what is the key to the Marshal service? Well, it's a very different job than DEA. It's a very different job than being an FBI agent. Okay, what do the marshals do? And we're going to take a look at that, and then we'll come back and comment. Really, the first thing to do when looking at a federal agency or any agency, first review what they do. What is their primary work? And the most out front thing that the marshals do, their primary function that stands out from any other agency, they're the primary agency charged with the service of federal arrest warrants. So in that regard, that's something that they do exclusively. Warrants that are not delegated to the marshals, of course, are retained by the agency that obtained them initially, such as the DEA or the FBI. But they will go out and do raids, and there is some investigation involved there to locate the fugitive. And then once the fugitive is located, usually the investigation involves toll records. Try and find out where the fugitive is. And of course, the amount of effort expended depends on the significance of the fugitive. Besides that, they do a lot of protective work. They maintain order in court. They maintain custody of federal prisoners in court, escort prisoners from one jail to another. They do a lot of protective work. Witnesses, judges, dignitaries, the attorney general. They enforce jury sequester. And then the last, they also hold seized assets, which is more of a administrative thing than anything else. Now, how does the marshals differ between other agencies? What I did here is I made a little chart. And if you look at the marshals, their primary function outside of things that are just their routine duties, they serve warrants. Now with DEA, your primary duty is going to be initiate cases. Let's say you're a uniformed police officer, your primary duty is going to be patrol. Okay. What else do the marshals do? They provide security. The DEA, your job is to recruit informants. That's how you initiate cases. With police, you're going to be dealing with the public, unhappy people who call the police department. Okay, you're going to be doing a lot of transporting prisoners with the marshals. With the DEA, you're going to be working a lot with the United States Attorney's Office. And you're going to have more court time as a police officer. Not court time as in bailiff duty, but court time for traffic court, whatever you've got to do a couple times a month, you're going to have to go to court. The U.S. Marshals, compared to other agencies, you're going to be doing minimal documentation. With DEA, you're going to be writing reports till your hand falls off. And with the police department, you do a lot of reports. That's just the way it is. With the marshals, your work is going to be given you from above. Your supervisor will assign you the work. The DEA, it's more self-generated. It is supervised, but you have to generate cases. With the police department, you respond to calls, okay? So what type of person would make the best deputy United States Marshal? And of course, what you need is someone who is operationally and tactically savvy, someone who can work as a member of a team, someone who is not does not object to having their work assigned from above, and that is warrants, your daily duties, initiative, going out beating the bushes for informants, doing cases. That's not as important. You're not going to be responding to calls. Now you're going to be doing a lot more work that is more closely supervised, whether it's serving a warrant, whether it's you're assigned to do duties on a specific day. Your supervisor is going to have a lot more say in what you do than you would as a DEA agent. As a DEA agent, again, hopefully you're doing a lot of your work. You're telling your supervisor what you're doing, of course, and getting approval, but you're generating it yourself. With the police department, you're being called to locations. With the marshal, he's going to assign you, today you're going to do X, Y, and Z. Here's another important thing, the ability to do repetitive tasks without becoming lax, such as court security, warrant service. Just a few days ago, an inmate in a federal court in Fargo slashed his throat after he was about to be remanded into custody. He had been out on bail and had gone through the jury trial. And whenever there's a jury trial, usually if the defendant's out, the judge is ticked off, so he'll have the defendant remanded. Well, the guy had apparently got a scalpel through the court security, and he slashed his throat, and there's going to be obviously an investigation about that. Again, writing ability and legal knowledge, you do have to know that, but but it's not going to be. You're not going to work with prosecutors as nearly as much as you would as a special agent or even a police officer. Again, your duties are going to be fairly straightforward. You have to be able to maintain and project authority. Very important when dealing with prisoners. So hopefully this has given you some idea as to a contrast between what type of person would be a successful marshal. Would I like the job? I think it would be a good job, but I would like to do more of the warrants. I wouldn't like to do the other stuff. That's just me. But the other stuff is a very important part of it, and that's it. So hopefully that's given you some insight. If you like to do investigative work, this is not the job really for you. Okay? If you don't like a lot of supervision or closer supervision, again, you should probably want to go to a different agency where you make the work happen, and rather than someone coming in and giving it to you. So these are just some things that I have seen. I'm not trying to dissuade anybody. I think it's a great job, actually. It's a wonderful job if you like doing police work or if you were a sheriff's deputy. So hopefully it's been useful. If it hasn't, if you think it sucks, put a comment in there and I'll respond to it. But again, the most important thing, know yourself. Now tomorrow I'm going to do one on HRT. The FBI's HRT. You can't just do one on the FBI because there's like 50 different things that the FBI does, and they need all different kinds of people. So I'm going to start with something that's pretty easy, which a lot of people write to me about, HRT. And, again, many are called, few are chosen. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.